everybody, I'm Don with Alpha Moto. We're going to do a little demonstration for you today with the Alpha Moto chain breaker and press tool. Okay, really nice heavy duty tool. We're actually going to demonstrate how to remove and replace a chain on a motorcycle using the three functions of this tool. This tool can separate a chain, break a chain as they say. It can also repress a non-clip style link, and then it has the fittings also to rivet or peen over the outside edge of the chain pin so that plate can't come back off. So let's take a look at the tool. The main vise part, okay, is pretty basic. We've got a pin in the center with an outer bolt that spins. We want to back that off pretty much out of the way, and then we're going to use this to adjust to the size of the chain. This tool will do pretty much any chain, everything from size 428 all the way to 630 O-ring, which is a very large, substantial chain. You'll also notice on the block itself, we've got a removable, I call it an anvil, and this has its separate sections marked. You're going to use this side of it to break the chain. You're going to use this side of it to repress the chain, and then you're going to use this side to rivet the chain. So that stays on one end. We're going to start by breaking the chain. So we want that facing our bolt. Okay, and then we've got some other additions here. The kit is really nice. It comes with a spare pin. Sometimes it takes an exuberant amount of pressure to get some of these larger chains apart, and the first failure point on any of these chain breakers is always this pin. Obviously, as beefy as this thing is, you're not going to see a failure point there, but that's nice that they give you a spare. There's also some different other anvil blocks, and these are for the riveting process. Okay, there's a few different types of riveting you can do, and then there's our handle, which we just screw in here for leverage. So like I said, sometimes takes a little bit of strength to get these chains apart. So what we're going to do first, we'll back this out just so you can see a little bit better. On the brake side, we've got a hole right in the center of that anvil. And what we're going to do is center one of these pins on the chain over that hole, come down on it snug, and then use the inner pin to press that chain pin out. Now we don't have to press the pin all the way through. All we have to do is push it far enough in so this plate can be removed. Then we can remove the rest of the link. So let's start off by doing that. I'll come over here on the back side and we'll line up on one of these chain pins. And it kind of finds itself there. You could find that the pin actually kind of finds its seat right there in that little hole. And we want to make sure that press pin is out enough. We're going to snug this down on the chain. We'll get our 17mm wrench. I just want that kind of snug. And then we want to take our 14mm wrench, and we're going to use this to push that pin through some, at least break it away from that front plate. Sometimes it takes a little bit of force to get through that, so we just want to be able to press past that first plate. Couple of turns. Now we can take a look, back this off, and see where we're at. As you can see, the pin is pressed through the plate. So we're going to move down to the second pin. Once again, kind of let it find its center. Okay, and we want that 17 kind of snug. The snugger that is, and the less area in here, the less prone you are to break the pin. Because if the pin tends to go sideways, it cause that pin to break. So we're going to come back in with our push pin, come through a little bit, and I can tell right there we're through. So we'll come back out. Now you're going to see the front plate of that link is off. Set that down. Now, sometimes it'll just pull apart. Otherwise, we may have to just give it a little extra help there. So we can go back once that plate's off of there. So like I said, sometimes they'll come right out. go. Move our chain apart. Now normally what we would do, replacing a chain, we would take the new chain and we would link it here and just pull it on through. New chain would come around, cut to length, and we go ahead and reattach. So the second part of this is reattaching, pressing. We're going to get the rest of this link out of here. Let's push that out. I think that might do it. It's an older chain. Yep, there we go. So now we've got our chain cut, our old link. That's what we want the new chain, the ends on the new chain to look like when we install our new link. Okay, let's start with going back to our chain block here. Now that our chain's been cut and we're installing a new link, we have to change the anvil here. And as you can see, it's really well marked. We had to press to take it out, or the brake. We use the brake to take it apart. Now we're going to go to press, okay? And on this side, we're going to use another small anvil. And what that's going to do is when we put our link together, it's going to press everything to fit. It's just where it needs to be. And then the final stage will be to rivet. So for now, we'll take our new link, get it inserted in our chain. Okay. We'll take our new plate, that's the link plate, kind of get it centered there, maybe where it'll stay. And now we could take our chain, it's in the press mode. We're going to come right over top of that link, kind of center it, bring our press plate in just like that, and let it kind of find its center there, and then we'll snug her down. So we'll get our 17mm wrench. Same thing, takes a little bit of force, and we'll start to press the new link on. A little bit of muscle into it. Okay, and you'll actually feel it kind of bottom out once you're all the way there. Come back out, take a look. We could go a little bit more. Not quite there yet. So let's go back up on here. Let's get right back on it. You can't really go too far, but you don't really want to use a bunch of force you don't need either. You can actually crush the link. This tool is strong enough, and if you're strong enough, you could. It's not likely, but okay. So as you can see, our pressing blocks have put that link back together, and we've got a little bit of overhang here, which is exactly what we want. And this is considered now an endless chain. It has no master link. It's all pressed as one, which creates a stronger, better chain. Final step here is we're going to do the riveting process. And like I'd said earlier, I think we're just going to put another tool in the block. It's going to hold everything in place, but it's just going to kind of rivet or peen over the end of that pin right there so this plate can't come off. So once again, go to our anvil. We've got a rivet mode. We're going to do one pin at a time with that. Go into rivet facing the press, and we're going to change out this piece to our rivet tool. We have two rivet tools in this kit. One being round is for smaller chains with smaller pins. This is generally for the 630 or larger heavy-duty 530 O-rings. The pin is extremely large, and this one uses it to just kind of square off the ends. But we don't need that one on this particular bike. So we're going to use the stainless ball rivet type there. And same thing, we're going to come over one pin at a time, kind of get it centered. See, it'll find its center there. And by the way, we're not using this outer press pin here. We're just using the main bolt bar here. And as you can see, that little stainless ball is right in the center of that pin. And when I wrench down on this, what it's going to do is just mushroom that out a little bit so it can't come back off. And this is probably the most force here, is because you're actually crushing a little bit of metal. And we can go up to the second one. Same thing, get it to kind of find its center there. And we're going to wrench down on that one. Just giving it enough to mushroom that steel out a little bit so that plate can't slip off. There you go. Overall, the three functions: cutting, riveting, or cutting, pressing, and riveting, all can be done with the AlphaMoto chain tool. Really nice tool overall. I really like that it's all in one. In the past, we've had to use different tools to cut, press, and whatnot. All comes in one nice little kit. Super heavy duty. We cut chains every day here in the shop. This gets used constantly. It's a super hardy tool. Great bang for the buck.